We have so much to do. It's within our capacity to do it. We just have to remain steadfast. Steadfast. Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here. The first person I was instructed to call on was Kelly O'Donnell of NBC.
Gosh, that's such a surreal, weird moment right there. I think the media was successful at really Paul Pelosiing that story and not holding Biden accountable for the 13 Americans who were killed and all the rest. And I don't know about you, but I support perhaps getting out of Afghanistan. That's not the point. It couldn't have been done worse, but we don't hold him accountable for that.
You know, I remember exactly where I was, Mike, when I was watching this press conference that we just played a clip of. I was just so angry watching this press conference. I mean, look at that man right there. I mean, does he even know like what day of the week it is? I mean, I hate to kind of go for the jugular right that, but you know, is this the kind of person fundamentally who you want to be the commander in chief of the United States Armed Forces, making life or death decisions like this? I mean, he can barely stand up straight there. He can barely look into the camera. It was really just a very sad day, profoundly, to be an American. But, you know, I agree with you with everything you just said. I mean, I was actually a long time a critic of the entrenched U.S. presence in Afghanistan. It seemed to me like the United States, at the very latest, accomplished its goal there when Osama bin Laden was taken out in early 2011 or so. So for at least a decade, it seemed to me like what the heck was the U.S. doing in Afghanistan? But obviously, this was done in the worst possible way. I mean, just those images. I mean, like Saigon-esque, Vietnam War-esque, Americans being evacuated from the tops of the embassy in the helicopter, people falling off of the airplanes, Americans stranded. I mean, hundreds of Americans, I believe, were actually stranded there after the last American was out, with no easy way to get out of the then Taliban overrun country. You know, I wrote a column last September after this that was quite simply titled, quote unquote, impeach Joe Biden, which is very straightforward. I basically said that this was an impeachment worthy offense, and I continue to believe so. And that's not because the decision to get out of Afghanistan was wrong. In fact, it was way, way overdue. And in reality, the Afghanistan debacle should be a sobering moment for neoliberals, neoconservatives, anyone who kind of supports these forever war crusades in foreign Islamist third world countries. But the way it was handled was just utterly egregious. And it was done by someone who I do not think really should be the commander in chief based on that footage that we just saw there.
Hey, thanks for watching that clip. That was from our special about the first 2 years of the Joe Biden presidency and just reflecting on all the failures. If you feel hopeless about the moment and about what's next, if I can forward you to our podcast, it's called Politics by Faith. And this is the premise of the podcast, is we take these moments of anxiety and hopelessness and we find what is good and true. And you leave that feeling very good, I assure you. So if you can download that podcast and give it a chance and check it out, it's called Politics by Faith. Anywhere you download, listen to podcasts.